Hello guys, welcome back. I'm Rajin and this is my second report under the subject development in linguistics. So today we're going to deal with the prosodic features of English language. Basically, we're going to deal with stress, intonation, and tone. So this report is gonna be a little bit longer than the first one because I have three topics to discuss to you. So anyway, to start with, I have a question for you. Have you ever tried speaking with a native English speaker? Have you ever tried being misunderstood while in a conversation? If so, then probably there must be a problem with how you used the English prosody. Okay, so this report will help you become a proficient English speaker. So, learning about the features of the English language will not only make you a proficient speaker, but will also help you develop your sensitivity to other people's emotional state. Because when in a conversation, you're not just dealing with the message alone, right? You're also dealing with how the message is conveyed. So that's it. Let's go. Okay, by the way, what is prosodic features? So prosodic features are features that appear when we put sounds together in a connected speech. Okay, so it is as important to teach learners prosodic features as successful communication depends as much on intonation, stress, rhythm, as on the correct pronunciation of sounds. Yes, like when you are engaging yourself in a conversation, you must have the proper intonation, the stress, the rhythm, because if not, then you are gonna be misunderstood by your or by the other speaker. Okay, so first we're going to have stress. What exactly is stress? Okay, stress is the relative emphasis that be given or that may be given to certain syllables in a word or to certain words in a phrase or sentence. Okay, so there are actually two types of stress, the syllable stress and the word stress. Okay, so what do you mean by syllable stress? Syllable stress is when one syllable in a word is pronounced louder and more clearly than adjacent syllables. Okay? So the function is it defines the word and its function. Okay, so there is also rule in stressing the syllables. Okay, so here are the rules in syllable stress. Number one, we have this. One word has only one stress. For instance, the word one. One has one syllable, therefore, one has also one stress. Okay, next we have this. We can only stress vowels, not consonants. Take note of that. Next, most two-syllable nouns have stress on the first syllable. For instance, the word construct. If you want to use the word construct as a noun, you have to stress it on the first syllable like construct, not construct. Okay. Second, we have this. Most two-syllable adjectives have stress on the first syllable. For instance, snappy. It's actually pronounced as snappy, not snappy. Okay? Next, we have this. Most two-syllable verbs have stress on the second syllable. For instance, the word present. Present. If you want to use the word present as verb, then you pronounce it as present, not present. Another is record, not record. Okay? Next, we have the example of syllable stress. The noun construct sounds differently from the verb construct. Hence, the difference between the phrases that construct and construct that is easily understood. The first phrase tells about the something by which people constructed, while the other phrase tells about an action one has to do. Okay? Next, we have word stress. What they mean by word stress. Okay, so this is when one word is pronounced louder and more clearly than adjacent words in a sentence. Okay, its function is to determine the rhythm of the sentence. Okay, so we also have a rule for that, or rules for that. So here are the rules. Okay, number one, we have this. Content words such as main verb, nouns, adjectives, and negative auxiliaries are stressed. Take note of that. While structure words such as pronouns, prepositions, articles, conjunctions, and auxiliary verbs are unstressed. However, ladies and gentlemen, we always cling to the rudiments of language, or the English language rather, that there is always an exemption to the rule. You can also stress the structured words if you are emphasizing a point. Okay? We have an example for that. Sell my car. The word sell is the main verb of the sentence and the word car is the noun. Okay? So you see, the main verb and the noun are stressed because they are content words rather. Okay, so while we learn the prosodic features of the English language, we also observe the mistakes of the Filipino second language learners or speakers in using the English language. Okay, so Filipino speakers stress the adjective more than the noun in their native language. In English, the noun is stressed more than that of the adjective. Example, typical mistake. Filipinos would often say, "That's a nice car." Well, it should be spoken as, "That's a nice car." Another is, "He's an intelligent man." Well, it should be, "He's an intelligent man." So you see the difference? That's it. So the second prosodic feature that we're going to discuss is intonation. So what is intonation? Basically, intonation describes how the voice rises and falls in a speech. So variety in intonation is important because the rising and the falling of voice communicate different meanings. For instance, in the word, "What are you doing?" If you would actually use the rising intonation on that, then probably that would mean a plain question. However, if you would say it like this, "What are you doing?" then you would communicate a different meaning, right? Okay, so the meaning of the sentence also depends on the intonation pattern that you use. More than that, intonation has also three types: the rising intonation, the falling intonation, and the rise-fall intonation. Rising intonation is when the pitch rises toward the end of the utterance. So it gives an impression that something more is to follow in a conversation. Thus, it is a way to keep the floor in turn taking. Okay, so there are actually purposes on using rising intonation. Okay, what are these? So here they are. Number one, you use the rising intonation when asking questions answerable by yes or no. So you look at the samples. Here, did your parents allow you to join the org? Okay, so your intonation should rise at the end of the utterance. Okay, another, you use it when asking yes no questions in statement form. Okay, here, inform your mom about it. Inform your mom about it. You see, it rises towards the end. Another is you use the rising intonation when asking WH questions functioning as echo questions. Okay, for instance, on this verbatim, Speaker A, I ran 3 laps around the oval this afternoon. Speaker B, how many laps did you run? How many laps did you run? You see, it rises towards the end. And of course, to express unfinished thoughts. If our family has to build a home, if our family has to build a home, okay, did you get it? So let's go to the. Okay, so we have the falling intonation. So what is falling intonation? Falling intonation is when the pitch falls toward the end of the utterance. Okay, so it is considered as a neutral tone and conveys confirmation and finality. Okay, so here are the purposes of falling intonation. You use it when asking WH questions requesting information. For instance, when are we supposed to submit the project? When are we supposed to submit the project? You see, it falls towards the end of the utterance. Okay, next, you use it when asking tag questions requesting confirmation. Grandpa lectured here again, didn't he? Grandpa lectured here again, didn't he? You see, it falls towards the end. Another, you use it to express declarative sentences. Our family is organizing reunion for next year. Our family is organizing reunion for next year. You see, it is in a neutral tone. Next, you also use it when expressing a request or imperative sentence. Okay, here. Help me find grandma's purse. Help me find grandma's purse. You see, it falls towards the end. And of course, you use it to express exclamation. How nice of you! How nice of you! It falls towards the end of the utterance. Okay? And of course, let us move to the next. We also have the rise fall intonation. So it is when the pitch rises at some point, then falls towards the end of the utterance. Okay, so this type of intonation is frequently used to communicate feelings or approval or disapproval as to offer options. Okay, here are the purposes of using rise fall intonation. Okay, it is to present choices through alternative questions. For example, do you speak Arabic or French? Do you speak Arabic or French? Okay, next, list or series of words. To present list or series of words. For example, on weekday mornings, I check on my online social media account, prepare for school, and eat my breakfast. On weekday mornings, I check on my social media account, prepare for school, and eat for breakfast. Of course, we also have this to state conditional sentences. If my parents call, please let me know. If my parents call, please let me know. And for the last one, we also have this to state sentences with introductory words. Okay, as a matter of fact, we have relatives in Egypt. As a matter of fact, we have relatives in Egypt. I observe that we Filipinos as second language speakers or learners have also difficulties in intonation. So languages have their own intonation patterns, and the English and Tagalog intonations have different patterns. Yes, okay, native Tagalog, Ilocano, or Bisaya speakers, when they speak English, the intonation is normally flat and monotonous. In some cases, it follows the rising pattern. Okay, like this one. Instead of saying, "What are you doing?" we Ilocanos often say, "What are you doing?" You see? What are you doing? Okay, so uh, we Ilocanos mistakenly follow the intonation that we have in our mother tongue instead of following the proper intonation that the English language dictates. Next, we have the tone. So the tone is a variation in the pitch of the voice while speaking. So basically, tone is a combination, or yes, it's a combination of pitches. Okay, so next it adds shades of meaning, emotion, and attitude to what we are hearing. Okay, so your tone is actually the musical notes that your voice communicates separated from your words. Let's say, for instance, the line, "Oh, great, you're here again." Okay, if you notice, I use the positive adjective great, right? So the word great is supposed to have a positive meaning. However, because of my tone, or because of the tone I used, it provided us a different meaning. It provided us a sarcasm rather than a praise. Okay? So your tone basically is any vocal nonverbal cues that a person is giving up. Okay, so it is combination of pitches, pacing, volume, emphasis, and pauses. Okay, so more than that, its main purpose is to provide subtle meanings to one's utterances or speech. Okay, so let's take for instance my experiences when I was younger. So when I was younger, I heard my parents through the walls speaking, so I might not have heard them on their words, but I knew exactly when they had pleasant conversations or not so pleasant conversations. That is because of their tone of voice. Okay? So when I heard that my dad would have uh, low level pitches matched with uh, neutral tones, I knew exactly that he was angry. No, 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 no. Okay, for instance, that pitch, okay, that combination of pitch, that would imply us that the person is angry. So tone has emotions. Tone has attitude. It gives us uh, the state of the utterance. Is it a happy tone? Is it a sad tone? Is it an angry tone? That's tone. Okay? So here ends my report. I hope you understood it and I hope you learned something from it. See you next time.